streams coming from a camp, and they called it Rejikade, Maskade, flesh shop, because of the kind of torture that was taking place there. This is an appeal to all those who love justice and peace and uphold human dignity.
In the late 1990s, 18-year-old Krishanti Kumarasamy was raped and murdered by Sri Lankan army personnel at a checkpoint in Jaffna. Her mother and brother, who had gone looking for her, were also murdered. Their bodies were discarded in Chemmani. Tamil people were being tortured, raped, and murdered by the Sri Lankan state. Families lived in a state of fear, knowing what could happen to themselves or their families at any given moment.
I am Father Bernard, Alphonsus Iradianayagam Bernard. I was in charge of the Justice and Peace Commission of the Jaffna Catholic Diocese, and when it happened, these things happened, I was there. Yes, I've been following this Chemmani affair this time and shocked, myself traumatized to see pictures of children and even a school back there.
As we know, Sri Lanka has one of the highest enforced disappearances in the world, with over 100,000 Tamil people having gone missing, never to be seen again.
It was a time of terror. The atmosphere was saturated with fear psychosis. People were just disappearing. Curfew was imposed from 6 in the evening, I think till 6 in the morning. But already by 5:30 or so, there would be nobody to be seen outside. People were so scared because they could be picked up anytime. You or your family were certain that you would be back home that day. Initially, the disappearance was clandestine, but then some bodies appeared also by the roadsides. There was no certificate of arrest given to the people. They would warn them, no noise, no screaming. So all kinds of human rights violations are taking place. Arbitrary arrests, detention, torture. That was the kind of atmosphere at that time.
We would soon learn that the innocent people there were not only tortured, but were being murdered in mass numbers. One of the perpetrators of this heinous crime, Lance Corporal Somaratne Rajapakse, revealed the existence of mass graves where hundreds of abducted Tamil civilians were buried. There began an early investigation into this site.
My friend, the chairman of the Consortium of Humanitarian Agencies, Jaffna, and I got permission from the judge to be present at in the site. Lance Corporal Somaratne, he came. He went straight to a spot. I still remember the spot very clearly. It's the corner of the street that leads to Nallur and eventually Kopai, and the footpath or so, a gravel path, forking out of the main road. It was in that corner. He went to that corner. He said, "You'll find bodies there." And they started digging. Somaran Rajapakse moved to another spot, passing the place where I was seated. And the experts, he and a couple of others accompanied him to that spot. The expert bent down and he said, "This soil has been tampered with."
But the Sri Lankan state began meddling with the investigation before halting it altogether, then denying the very existence of the mass grave.
They've discovered a mass grave allegedly with 400 bodies in it. There's another mass grave over near the football stadium here in town.
400 bodies?
That a young soldier being convicted. Yes.
That's what he says.
Yes. You don't believe him?
Well, I don't think anyway. It's left to be seen.
There's another one that's already started over near the football stadium.
Yes. Those are all, I think we were not there even when these bodies
People were desperate. They were just traumatized. And now they're denying it. And to deny this trauma, what happened, is to re-traumatize the people. You can't trivialize these things.
But just this year in 2025, all of that changed when bone fragments were again uncovered, prompting authorities to resume the investigation. The Jaffna Magistrates Court declared this site a mass grave, acknowledging that satellite imagery has revealed more burial sites nearby.
குழந்தைகள் விளையாடுகின்ற பொம்மை ஒன்றும் அந்த உடலத்தோடு இருந்து அகழ்ந்தெடுக்கப்பட்டிருக்குது. இதை விட இன்றைய நாள் முழுவதும் நடந்த அகழ் பணியில் கிட்டத்தட்ட 5 ஒன்றோடு ஒன்று பின்னி பிணைந்ததான மேலதிக உடலங்கள் அடையாளம் காணப்பட்டிருக்குது. ஆனால் கிட்டத்தட்ட எண்ணிக்கை எத்தனைன்னு சொல்ல இல்லாத என்னன்னு சொன்னால் அது ஒரு குழப்பமான ஒரு முறையில் அந்த உடலங்கள் தற்போது அடையாளம் காணப்பட்டிருக்கிறது.
That skeleton was hugging a baby. That means when she was buried, she was still alive. And when the killed baby was dropped on her, automatically the hand bent to hug the baby. This shattering experience. How many children like that might have been buried there?
The excavation must continue, but we cannot allow the genocide perpetrators to investigate their own crimes. There must be an independent international investigation.
This is an appeal to all those who love justice and peace and uphold human dignity. As relatives go in search of information from one barrack to another, they meet with the same answer. There is no one here listed by that name. Night have turned from being a period of peaceful rest to that of horror-filled vigilance. They speak of more inhuman conditions and summary executions of fellow detainees. Other released detainees, females, they've been sexually molested and raped. The right to life, right to liberty and security of the person, the right not to be subjected to arbitrary arrest, the right to a fair trial, the right to legal defense, the right to recognition as a person before the law, the right to inhumane conditions of detention, all these rights are violated, leaving the victims and their relatives utterly helpless. Any protest by the detainees will be stifled by the walls of his cell. That is, if he is allowed to protest at all.